The first weekend of 2023 spring training is officially in the books. We saw some madness with the introduction of the pitch clock. We saw some familiar faces in new places. Manny Machado, he just got paid a bag by the Padres. And also, in some personal news, you see that cat right there? We all know his name is Grady. I actually met Grady Sizemore this weekend, my hero. That interview is going to be out in the next few days, so make sure you guys subscribe. I cannot wait to show you that. Now, we are going to talk about Manny's contract extension real quick, but before we do that, Manny's teammate, Fernando Tatis Jr., you can't tell me you don't miss this guy playing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait for him to be back on the diamond. Now, because I was traveling this weekend, I was not able to live report on Manny Machado signing a contract extension with the Padres, but $350 million over the next 11 years. So they kind of ripped up his current contract and the fact that he could opt out after this season. They said, you know what? Here's a fat bag. For every minute of baseball that he's going to play in 2023, I think he's making about $1,000 a minute. So Manny Machado, yeah, he's very rich. In some other news, James Click, the World Series champion general manager of the Astros, who kind of was fired but not fired because he wanted more money, so he kind of left, but then the Astros said they fired him. I don't know exactly what happened, but he is now the GM of the Blue Jays. I don't know if anyone really cares about that, but James Click is pretty good at his job, so he could turn around the Jays and make them even better. And now for the madness that is pitch clock. So it was introduced over the weekend, and we can see that the first few games, the first one was 2 hours and 29 minutes, the second one was 2 hours and 33 minutes. If you guys don't remember, spring training games a year ago in 2022, I think the average spring training game was 3 hours flat. So the fact that they're saving nearly a half an hour, Robert Manfred, he's got to be smiling ear to ear. He looks like the Grinch right now. Now, in an effort to speed it up, Max Scherzer is actually using PitchCom on his own wrist. I have not seen this ever before. It's probably new going into 2023, but look at him calling his own pitches. So shout out to Pitching Ninja for actually finding this. Max Scherzer, he was someone that last year was not a fan of PitchCom, but now with the pitch clock, he's a big fan. Max Scherzer is a perfect example of how great the pitch clock is going to be, but on the flip side, there was a clip that went viral, a pitch violation or a strike violation that ended the 9th inning, a rally. We're going to show them back to back, and then you guys have to let me know your final verdict of what you think going forward of the pitch clock. Me, I feel like there's still some things we have to work out.
Here is Joey Meneses, who had a start to his career unlike virtually anybody in the history of the game. Came up last year as a 30-year-old rookie after 11 years in the minor leagues, and nearly won himself a Rookie of the Year award. I mean, 324, 13 home runs, 34 RBIs, and just 222 at-bats, a 930 OPS for a guy who was never even on a major.
Could have run them up easily. Uh-oh.
And now what?
He's out.
They have called strike three! Wow!
But with all of that being said, even though I believe there are a few things that we have to work out, maybe they go from a 15-second pitch clock to 17 seconds. I feel like that extra 2 seconds will allow the pitcher to recover a little bit extra, the batter a little bit more time to get into the batter's box. But then again, I don't mind telling the batter, get into the batter's box. And we don't want dead air. That's all that we're trying to save. We're not trying to take away baseball from you. We're trying to take away the guy adjusting his batting gloves, James Karinchak throwing a baseball up to himself 8,000 times. That's all that Robert Manfred and Major League Baseball is trying to do, and so far I kind of like the pace, although I don't know if it should be 17 seconds, 19 seconds. What's the sweet spot? Now, one rule change that they made as well is that there are bigger bases going into 2023, and so far it is working to perfection. Last year in spring training, there wasn't even one stolen base on average, and now in 2023 already they're beating that, and the success rate is up as well. And Anthony Volpe, the top prospect for the Yankees, he is living proof that when you get a guy on base and you allow him to try and get that extra bag, now when you have those bigger bases, you're going to be able to steal those bags a little bit easier because, I mean, it's not very scientific. This isn't rocket science, guys. You get there quicker because the base is bigger. Anthony Volpe had 2 base hits and 2 stolen bases. A guy that I really like, Zach Veen, he is a monster. I think he put on like 15 to 20 pounds of muscle. He also stole 2 bags as well. So for me, baseball, between the pace of play that is different going into the next season and the fact that we're going to see more stolen bases, to me, it's going to be a much more exciting game to watch. I don't know, I don't feel like that's a bad thing. I know it might seem like I'm rushing through today's recap, but honestly, it's just because there's not really a lot to talk about from the first few games. I am going to show some clips from Hunter Renfroe and Jarred Kelenic, the changes that he's made. But right now, the biggest stories in baseball, pitch clock and the bigger stolen bases. They're both working exactly as intended. Now, when I say working as intended, that might not make a lot of people happy because they want more baseball, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more baseball, but the only thing that I have to say to that is we're not taking away outs from you. We're not taking away hits from you. The only thing that baseball is trying to mitigate is a James Karinchak. There used to be a guy for the Guardians. I don't remember his name. It was like Betancourt or something. He was a reliever. His actual nickname was the human rain delay. So all that Major League Baseball is trying to do is get these guys in the batter's box. 8 seconds left. You're ready. I'm ready. All right, I'm throwing this pitch. And not gonna lie, it gave me anxiety at first. Like, it was sensory overload. I know that's very dramatic, but a lot of people, they shared the same sentiment. And then the more I watched, I thought to myself, yo, this is kind of cool. More baseball because there's less dead air. So for me, the people who are saying, you're taking away baseball, I don't understand that because they're literally giving you more of it by taking away the dead air. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Now, I want to go ahead and show some familiar faces in some new places. We have Trey Turner with his first 2 base hits as a member of the Phillies. He actually looks pretty good in that uniform, I'm not gonna lie. Yoshida Masataka got his first base hit as a member of the Boston Red Sox. I really like his swing path. I feel like he's gonna have a really good season. Gabriel Moreno, the former top prospect for the Blue Jays, he had his first home run as a member of the Diamondbacks. Remember, he was traded with, what was his name? Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the trade for Dalton Varsho. These are not players in new places, but young guys like Jason Dominguez with his first home run of spring training. So in one video, we've seen Anthony Volpe with a few knocks and a few stolen bases. Jason Dominguez is absolutely destroying baseballs in spring training. Now, speaking of destroying baseballs, Jordan Walker, this guy is going to be a problem for the Cardinals. I don't know if they have a spot for him on opening day, but they need to find a spot. They got to clear something. This kid is going to be an absolute monster. And look at this guy right here, Ronnie Mauricio. I feel like the video without sound doesn't do it justice. So Ronnie Mauricio, one of the top prospects in baseball and for the Mets. Look at him destroying this ball.
Mauricio hits one out of sight. What a shot by Mauricio. What do about the strength that he's gained and the power that he's always possessed.
2 more players I want to talk about real quick, only because they kind of remind me of each other. We have Jarred Kelenic of the Mariners and Garrett Mitchell of the Brewers. Both are former top prospects who are now in the big leagues, and not that they struggled per se, but they didn't explode out the gates. Kelenic, he's made a few adjustments to his swing. He had 2 home runs in a single game, and same for Garrett Mitchell. Garrett Mitchell, by the way, is one of the best athletes in baseball. The dude can absolutely fly, and when he makes contact, he hits the ball very hard. So 2 names I'm excited for, Kelenic and Garrett Mitchell going into 2023, although Jarred Kelenic, he hasn't really given us much to bank on in terms of, oh, he's going to bounce back and be pretty good, but maybe these mechanical changes are what really actually changes the trajectory of his career. I don't know. But guys, that does it for today's recap. Remember that Grady Sizemore interview will be out in the next few days, so I'm really excited about that. And then to end today's video, I want to show a few random home runs. Home runs that didn't really mean anything, but they're still from big players, and I wanted to show them.
And Pete smacks one out to left field. De La Cruz going back, and it's out of here.
Hits that breaking ball, a missile to left, and you can forget it.
Appearance today. Fly ball, deep right field. McCarthy going back, looking up, and that ball is gone.
And he swings and he rips one high and deep to right field. It is back. It is gone. A 2-run home run.
For Corey Seager. All right, here's a ball driven deep out into center field. Valera going back onto the track. He turns to look, and this one is off the wall. So Corey Seager hits it over the .410 marker.